Okay, now we're live. Hello, how are you guys?
Hello,
Hello, hello,
everyone.
excellent. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's just been a rough day today, but I'm okay. It's just my hands, I hate them. I hate them. They look so unfeminine. Well, like this thing with the lupus, I really hate it. But how are you
Um,
guys? Today we're here to celebrate the life.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, ladies?
Hi,
Excellent.
hello.
Hello, hello.
Today we're here to celebrate the life of Princess Diana. Um, so Hello, guys. How are you? She was so amazing. And also to raise funds for P. Dina's charity. Meghan Markle is trying to hawk wine, 3 bottles per. Let's not forget that
Yeah.
Princess Diana died at the hands of a drunk driver. And Meghan
Right.
Markle is trying to hawk um,
Alcohol.
alcohol. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, you pay, but you only get the bottle shipped out to you on July 9th.
Oh,
So, what's the
pre-book.
point of even doing it now? Like,
It's getting money
Exactly.
and to see how many people buy it. Please, for you to here is the link for Big Dinas. If you give me 1 second, you guys, if you can guys talk among yourselves and start talking about it, I'm just gonna do something here very quickly. Okay,
Yeah,
all
okay.
right.
I'm thinking.
this is the link to
I'm,
Big Dinas, by the way. Here we go.
hmm So, uh, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. We've all come together because of Paula. Paula is so gracious and generous to want to support my charity. This was something that she wanted to do to help me. She sees the struggles behind the scenes. It's been a crazy year, and I just don't even know if I can continue doing this. It's not easy when you're a small charity. It's very difficult, and you need the support of a lot of people. Just a little bit with a lot of people is generally how most charities make it. And so, just a little bit by a lot of people goes a long way to help the organization be able to continue its work teaching life skills. And as some of you know, I started doing my YouTube channel with that in mind for Megan. It was to teach really important life skills that I think Megan just did not have. She didn't have a lot of important skill sets to, help her navigate being in the royal family. Now we can say she's a narcissist and that she never really wanted to do all of this. And I can see that as true as well. But at some point, when do you look at other people and want to do right by other people? I think if you can't do right by people or just try to be somewhat of a genuine person, life is going to be very difficult for you. And Megan has had it really easy with the things that she has done. And, that was always what I wanted to do from the beginning, of my channel. And so as we look to all the mistakes and all the things that are going on with Megan and this relationship, just know that my goal in life has always been to teach these important life skills to young people and to give them opportunity to see the world and to travel and to know how to take those local life skills and to equip themselves with these global skills when they leave the country and go visit people that are different from them and have all these unique experiences,
Mm-hmm.
because it opens your mind to a bigger world and it gives you a broader perspective to know how to navigate life without looking at yourself as being a victim. There's so
Mm-hmm.
much you can teach. And I think having this global society where we're all connected with these international lines through technology, it's so important to equip young people who don't have opportunities with their parents to go on vacation or to, go on school trips because it costs so much. It's just you would not imagine the limited opportunities that a lot of kids have in life that we take for granted. I know for myself, like living or going abroad and living abroad, it just changes your world. I came back a completely different person. I always say you come back with new eyeballs.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the work that we do, and also like basic life skills. So we have a financial literacy workshop coming up July 26th, and more programs that we're creating for young people. So just wanted to kind of give that overview of what we do. what we're doing.
That's really
amazing.
important. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. It's really important. I like that because, I always see too that
Yeah,
Oh no.
she's having unsteady internet. Here we go.
I
Oh,
don't
no.
know
There seems
why.
to be problems, there seems to be problems everywhere with internet today because apparently there's been shortage of internet, and StreamYard is giving issues too. So we apologize in advance for that. Okay. I'm sorry, Princess Carol. Thanks for the super chat, but I can't do that. Um, and then, and this chat today is about fundraising and celebrating the life of Princess Diana. I do not want the chat flooded with anything else. Thank you. Dealing with things in a correct manner, and they will be dealt with by the police that already has that. I don't need to hear from anybody else.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Now Paula's left.
Yeah, I think
Uh-oh.
there's something wrong with it. I keep, when I started talking, it just froze. I don't know if we're on or
Oh,
off or
no.
whatnot. But I love the fact that you're raising standards. And I think that there's been too many standards coming down. And it's important that people have life skills and they can manage. Like one of the things for my kids, I always wanted to make sure they can land on their feet no matter where they are in the world. That's really important to be able to do that. So that's excellent that you've got that as your mission and as your charity. Fabulous.
Thank
And
you.
also people prosper when they, when they help themselves and when they stop playing victim. I mean, there are legit victims out there. And that's why it's so hard to watch Harry and Meghan and their narrative and all these other elitist celebrities that have just been flooding, our platforms over the last few years. So to know that you're out there doing that, that's awesome. That's
Yes,
awesome.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's a lot of it is really heartbreaking too. You just see the limited mindset and you just think, wow, some of these kids, they may never have a chance in life unless they're able to really have that grit to get out of what life has dealt them with their circumstances.
They don't have fathers that are, lighting directors, winning the lottery, giving them everything they want.
That's exactly right. Yeah, they don't. So
They have parents that are very busy and they have to just put, make ends meet. And sometimes the kids don't get all the attention that they need. So to be able to have this as an extra, have it on the side and know that they can get those skills, because I think a lot of parents intend to do a really good job. It's just that life becomes very expensive and difficult. And the time you want to spend with your children, you can't. It's a luxury sometimes.
Exactly. And another point is you think about technology, everything has gone towards technology when it comes, especially with your children. Like I just got a document today I had to sign for my daughter. Do you know how difficult that is for some older parents that don't? I mean, you would not imagine how many parents do not know how to navigate technology in the most basic form. Like they don't have the concepts, and it's just unbelievable how like they can't even navigate like a map quest, like on your phone, like how to do it, because it's just really difficult. I never thought of it as being difficult, but when you look at it through someone else's eyes who doesn't know much about technology, like that is a big overhaul for them to be able to navigate, So, yeah. So Paula is gone again. There she is. Paula,
there's something going on with this.
Oh no.
Gone again. We may have to be short and sweet. I don't.
Yeah, this
is
seems like it's going to be off and on quite a lot. It's already happened quite a lot. Well, today we know is the birthday of Princess Diana, our lovely Princess Diana. How old would she have been today? Do we have
64?
64. I wonder
born in 1961. Yeah.
So if she would have been alive, I wonder what she would be doing like right now. Like what would her life be?
She'd be putting her foot down, we all know. with the
shenanigans
that's going on in the money, shit show mansion.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I think
that wouldn't have happened at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh,
it would never have
amen,
happened.
Manuela. Amen.
Yeah. So Diana would have definitely protected her son from what is going on. And I wonder how much Charles the brother did to protect Harry, because didn't he say that during the speech during Diana's funeral that they were going to be there to protect the children? Like, did he have
Mhm.
anything to do with trying to get Harry to understand you should not marry this woman? Like, did he have that conversation?
No,
Paula probably
he
knows, but I don't think he had much to do with him in his upbringing, did he, Paula?
absolutely
No,
not. This is
no.
a man who didn't even want to have Princess Diana when she asked him if she could spend the summer there with her boys, so they would be in
Hmm.
Althorp. Had he allowed her to spend the summer there, she probably would still be alive, because she
Yeah.
just wanted her boys to grow in the same way, like how the Queen used to take the kids to Balmoral. She wanted her kids, now
Hmm.
that they were older, to go to Althorp where she grew up, because it's really huge as well. They're really wealthy landowners. And he
Mhm.
sent her a nasty letter saying no, and to go sort
Hmm.
herself out because she was mentally unwell.
Mm.
So I
That was
believe they
his
were
report.
estranged at the time of her death, were they not?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to have him go and just in such poor taste, just admonish the family like that. I mean, that's
Mhm.
not really a place and a time to do that,
Well,
especially with the grieving families,
I think part of it really is the fact that he was not even there for Diana when, like the Paula was saying, when she died. So,
Hmm.
for him to say that during that speech and not have even been there to give a helping hand to your sister, right before she passed away, I think it's
Hmm.
contradicting
Yep.
what he was even saying in the speech, because you're not really there to you know practice what you preach. You're saying one
Hmm.
thing, but you prove completely the opposite of that when she needed a place to stay. I mean, I
Hmm.
just don't. Yeah, I think she would have even been alive today had she been able to stay on their family
Well,
property.
he's the one who brought the guy over, the panorama guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who he's
Martin
Because of him,
Bashir.
yeah, because of him it happened,
Hmm.
because he went to her brother and he brought him to her door and said, listen to this guy. And then he accused her of being paranoid after he brought the guy saying he was legit and
Yeah.
everybody was after her.
Mm-hmm.
And then when
Hmm.
everything went loose, and she did that interview because she really believed that her brother had checked the sources. Otherwise,
Yeah.
her brother would have never brought this guy
Sure.
over, especially given the serious
Hmm.
allegations that this man was saying. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the context that people fail to see. Uh,
Hmm.
that there's a reason why she did that, because she believed her brother and she believed that those threats were
Hmm.
legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People tend to react in certain ways
Hmm.
when you are under what you believe is a serious threat,
Hmm.
to your
Mm-hmm.
life, to everything. And it's incredible. It's like pinching the child and then calling him a crybaby, because but people only see the child cry, but they don't know that you pinched the
Hmm.
child to make him cry.
Mm-hmm.
you know
Hmm.
Right.
so everybody were like, oh, she get that panorama, but he was very sneaky because nobody knew. This all came out much years later.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
then
Yeah.
know
when she
what?
went,
And
yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, sorry, Paula, and in all the documentaries and books and things I've read over the years, I really do feel like there's a little bit of a nasty, mean streak in some of these Spencer men. Her
Mm-hmm.
father treated her mother just
Yeah.
abominably,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
then he's not known for being too kind to his wives, his ex-wives. And I don't know if Harry's inherited a little bit of that mean, nasty streak, but think about it. Diana's father treated her mother
Mm-hmm.
horribly. Seemed
Mm-hmm.
like he, Earl Spencer, treated his sister Diana horribly. And
Mm-hmm.
now you see Harry acting out, and it's almost like they act out on everybody else without any type of personal accountability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a
Just from
really
what
good
I've
point.
seen, read, and witnessed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah,
It
we've
does
seen a
seem
lot
to
of
be a bit.
negativity from Harry,
Yes.
and that people have said things about him. And I think, especially now with, everything that he has given up and lost, I can imagine the resentment and how
Mhm.
he's just not in that mindset to even be a nice person at all because of everything that he has gone through with Meghan. I mean, how could you
Mhm.
not be dealing with some emotional issues, considering, all the things that you've put out there in the public and then trying to change it up like you never said it. And he's just mixed up mentally. And that has to be frustrating because you don't have any grounding. You don't have any really any stance to get you further in life because your life is in chaos right now. So he has to not be dealing well with life in general because of his current situation. I mean, I think he is definitely of that mindset of like what he has from his genes. Absolutely. I could
And do
see
you
it.
remember what he said in Spare, ladies, about how, I mean, personally, I look at Prince William and all I see is his mother. I mean,
Yeah.
he is the spitting image of Princess Diana to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I see a lot of, and facially, I see a lot of Charles in Harry. But you remember what he said in the book about, how he's balding, and as the years go on, the resemblance that he has to Mummy is just decreasing. And I'm thinking, are we all looking at the same man? Because this man looks exactly like his mother, and God willing, thank God.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank goodness he was the firstborn. I just think
think
Harry
that,
is resentful of his brother being the firstborn. He's got a lot of anger issues. He is in a bad spot because think about it. If you are in your 40s and you are ragging on your upbringing as a prince, you're ragging on the life that you had, considering it is a very privileged life. You're not a happy person. You are in such a bad space mentally that you can't be doing well, because who complains and wants to become a victim with all the advantages and access that this man has had his whole life? It really is an insight into his psyche that he is mentally stunted, I think, from when his mother passed away. And that's not going to be good for him. And then marrying someone like Meghan, like, it's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah.
Well,
don't you remember? He's still mad. He's still mad that William got more sausages than he did.
Yeah. And his room was bigger. His room was bigger.
Ridiculous.
I mean, we're laughing, but you're right, Padina. It's stunted adolescence at its finest. It's the inability to stop this selfish self-introspection. We all need self-introspection, and we all need a healthy amount of it. But when it becomes so toxic, that's all you can look at is me, how everyone's relating to me, what they're doing to me, what I'm not getting. It's a sickness at this point. And to see, I mean, he was still crying victim the other day when he was on that stage in New York. It's like, Lord help us,
Yeah. His future is very bleak in terms of prospects, life, successes. I just think he's just going through the motions now with everything. And we all know the story that myself and Paula talked about with the drugs. I think that's a sign. That right there is showing you the sign of how he's dealing with it all because of what happened, his hospitalization, so. Yeah, it is what it is. Have you all known anyone that has gone through drug addiction?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I just think he brings a lot of baggage with him wherever he goes. It's really hard to be a leader, an inspiration, or to have, for people to even get together and be motivated by him when he brings so much baggage, and he's not able to sort his baggage out when he tells everybody else what to do.
Yeah.
But he really needs to let go of that. I mean, it's just a big excuse. It's a jumbled mess.
Absolutely. And when you've been through it, that gives you that measure of relatability and that authenticity, which is good. But at a certain point, it's because, he's always espousing things, what not to do, but he never offers up any type of real solutions to anything, whether he's talking about his addictions or whether he's talking about feeling left out or whether he's talking about climate change, whatever their little cause is. He's always spouting, but what's going to make you real and relatable is if you offer up solutions. Like, this is what I did to overcome. This is what I feel. It's just so hollow.
And I think that's a key point to how he's not in a good space. Because if Harry was offering up, how he overcame something, He would talk about it, but he never does that because he still hasn't overcome anything. He is going through the now. Like the things that are happening to him are happening in the moments that we see him now when he's out giving these speeches. He's not in a good space mentally because you won't see him ever offer up these solutions because he hasn't grown out of anything or any hardship. He hasn't grown from it. He is stunted and he is living it as we speak every time we see him. That's exactly why, So yeah, that's how he's not in a good spot right now. And I think having someone like Meghan exasperates that. It elevates it, it compounds it, it makes it worse. And I think it's a lot more difficult for him to navigate his life with someone like Meghan controlling it to his detriment. And that's how Harry is that's how I feel that Harry's not going to fare well because he's not in a healthy space. He's not in a place where he is going to have the needs that he needs. Like he's not going to be cultivated to help himself get out of the trauma and the difficulties that he's been having with, wanting to be the victim. I mean, that's a real problem when you've grown up a prince and dealing with the things that he had to go through with his mother. We know that from the whole media aspect of all of this being a big part of his trauma. How is it that you're now in a marriage where your wife is, or you are having to be more part of the media now to make your money? You're not recovering from that which traumatizes you. You are actually diving more into that which has traumatized you. You're not getting better. Your life is a lot more complicated. And I think to your detriment, Harry, that you're going to get worse and worse until you find the help that you actually need. And Meghan is not the wife to bring him that help. She is going to make it worse, 10 times worse.
And the circle is not right. Their circle of friends. I mean, they don't have, like, in England, at least they would have had years and years of relationships and professionals or vetted people that are not just out there to manipulate them or whatever. But in Hollywood, I'm sure that they haven't been there long enough to be able to create trusted advisors or friends or people that they could work with that see beyond their titles and actually have their best interest at heart.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And all their associations, I'm going to bet your bottom dollar, they're all shallow. They're all surface, just like who he married. That's all she knows and can relate to. And I'm sure if she had someone who was really, really in her face saying, we've got to strategize better. We've got to do this and this and this. This is how you rebuild faith. You got to do this. You got to go away. She doesn't want to hear that kind of stuff.
Nope, she doesn't want to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't want to hear it, and she doesn't want Harry hearing it. And I was, reading about that appearance, and I guess they wrote in the media that he gets about 500,000 per appearance for some little thing like that. And I'm thinking, I bet you anything she's pushing him on those stages because I don't think this business of hers is really, really going to be doing anything in my personal opinion.
It's not going to make the money they need to make. It's
no.
If it was, you would have seen it. Yeah,
it's not gonna be consistent. Like my suspicion is because the fact that we do TV shopping and we do and manufacturing and with TV shopping it's going to be very similar to that Spotify the Shopify is that you open up inventory and you allow people to buy it. And once you know your audience, you can kind of control the chaos. But I bet you were saying that it's not going to ship out till the 9th. So I suspect what they're doing is the vineyard or whatever, they've manufactured maybe 5,000, 10,000 bottles, and they're going to label as many as they sell. So they're going to leave a window, like 1 week or so. So then they know what their shipment's going to be. So they didn't want to predetermine the inventory, but that's going to be successful. So say she sells, I don't know, 5 or 10,000 of them. So she makes like $100,000, let's say, in the day or the few weeks. But how many kicks at the can is she going to have? So it looks really sexy this week or today, but it doesn't look so sexy 3 months from now or 6 months from now or a year from now because your sales, yes, maybe they're 100,000 or whatever in a day, but in a year, that's the same number. So now it's diluted because she doesn't have the model set up, right? So I think that they're not going to have, this is not a financial success for them as the speaking engagements. I'm sure that I could just imagine after the drug issue, dusting him off and saying, you're going to go on stage in 48 hours or 20, get yourself together.
Yeah.
And it's just that curiosity factor, I think, Manuela, because you would know more than anybody, because you not only develop your product, but you know how to market and sell it.
Mhm.
That's what you do. And I
Right.
think that whatever she makes is curiosity. A lot of it's hate watching. A lot of it's probably people buying it so they can review it and post a video about how it's not good, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, I just don't see a
The first time is
legacy
easy.
brand coming from this. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Well, legacy brand it takes a while to build a legacy brand. You can't build a
Mhm.
legacy brand in a few months. Legacy brand is years and years and years. But I remember, not to talk about, I mean, I have to talk about from my experience, but not to just harp on it. But I remember we've been able to do like 1 million in an hour, or 1 million in a day, whatever. But it took, and that sounds great, but it's almost like what Brad Pitt said. It took 20 years to become an overnight success. Like, it takes a
Yeah.
long time. You have to build it. You have to make them hungry for it. And you have to have the right offer at the right time and the right people. And,
Yeah.
so many things have to come together. And how many times can you do that in your lifetime? A handful, if you're lucky. And we're talking 10 or 15 years, right? This is not something that is easy to do. And especially with, and growing a legacy brand takes a lot of grit, which, she only knows what hard work looks like. She doesn't actually know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. She
know?
does
Well,
not know.
you also have to be liked too, right?
Yeah,
You have to
because
be liked.
you do,
Trust.
because most people,
Liked
when
and
they
trusted.
buy, liked and trusted, you have to have a good product,
Mhm.
and people are going to buy because I think of her brand. And if she's not liked, if she's not well received, if she can't even get basic A-listers to be next to her to take a photo, if you can't get even those people who have their own supporters, because I think through those people, the other A-listers, you would have a very high likability of success, because you're supported by these high profile people who have their supporters. Megan doesn't even have that. Like her target audience, I don't believe is large enough for her to find the success she needs. Like, it's just not a large enough market.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
I
think
don't
of
know if
someone
she's
like
had
Paul Newman, right? Think of Paul Newman, a beloved actor.
Yeah.
And he
great
develops this
product.
line. Yeah, that's still in the stores now. Now that's a legacy brand. People know you buy a salad dressing from Paul, it's going to be good. And it 100% goes to charity. I mean,
Yep.
who wouldn't want to support and get behind that? But he
Exactly.
was something before he did that even, and he channeled it into good. I mean,
Right.
what is
Yeah.
she what magic and voodoo is she trying to channel? Because it's not good. It is not good. Right?
I'm just gonna be using my phone. I'm just waiting for something to happen because the internet here, apparently they're doing some work because somebody very important is about to give a speech. So they're cutting off the internet. So I'm gonna use my phone very shortly. And I do apologize because it looks chaotic, me coming in and out, but this is what's happened in a
Okay.
country like this. Okay. So I do apologize for that. But Munchie, I appreciate that, but I do not want those comments in this live. Today, this live is to celebrate Princess Diana's life and to raise funds for P-Dina, because unlike Meghan Markle, we're not selling booze. We're trying to raise funds to help people.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really like that, the charity. Just a little background. I'm an inner city kid, right? So I was, downtown Toronto, and whatnot. And after
Okay.
school, I used to go to the St. Albans Boys and Girls Club. And because of the Boys and Girls Club, I was able to learn, I was able to learn how to swim, how to skate, and also
Yep.
after school programs. And then when I had children, I sent them there, even though I had a different life at that point, but I served on their board. I volunteered all the
Okay.
time. Because I think
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
important to have an after school. And I remember the after school, the Boys at St. Albans was $20 a year to go there from 4 to 6 o'clock every day, and with all
Wow.
volunteers. And it was so great for the
Awesome.
kids,
It's awesome.
right? And
That
we
is
learned
so
so we had a little
awesome.
library, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and so you can appreciate that was so impactful for you as a young person.
Yes.
Imagine if you never have you go home to an empty house because your parents are working. You go home to a relatives and like you just sit in front of the TV the whole time. That is what a lot of kids are doing,
I know.
So Yeah.
But St. Albans, it was funny because we
Yeah.
used to go from school to St. Albans. They make us line up, the boys and girls on one side. You had to go in, you had to take your coat off, put your shoes, organize everything. And then everybody got to go. They would ask you, where do you, some went to the recreation room, some went to weight training, some went swimming. Everybody had a thing to do. Some learned how to make cookies, but we always had, it was a lot of respect. And it was a really good time. And at 6 o'clock, we had to clean up our spots wherever we were. The place was always like, they really taught us self-respect and discipline.
Yep.
And I really appreciated it. And I really appreciated it also as an adult, being on the board and watching how it grew and being able to have that after school program. We actually opened up 2 other ones in Toronto in basically in areas where they had a lot of government housing. And I wasn't part of it then at the time. I helped them set it up. But then about 10 years after we set it up, the number 1 MBA draft pick came from the Jane and Finch location.
Wow, really?
Cool. Yeah.
And it was so cool to see that boy that came from literally the projects, and he was part of the St. Albans Boys and Girls Club. So it's always really important to be able to be there for the kids, and
well, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. You benefited, you saw everything that did to enrich your life, and you pass it on. And it's not fanfare. It's not calling attention. Look what I'm doing. Look what, it's just, you pass it on, you move it on. That's what you're supposed to do. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it shows you just 2 hours a day, how much it changes kids' lives. Yeah. So this charity, I think, is very important. And financial literacy, super important.
So important, especially at a young age, to learn about learning how to manage money, understanding the value of money, really understanding how to, save and needs versus wants, and all of that is so important to the future. And also, I think, to our safety. I mean, think about the kids that you find that are doing things, that are committing crimes. Think about the kids that become the problem of just regular citizens. These are the kids that come from these type of homes, right? So it really is, it takes a village, and we need people to see the importance of supporting these under-resourced youth, because they will become your problem if they go to a life of crime, if they're not committed to really wanting to improve their circumstances. Sometimes they fall victim to what life has dealt them, and they just become the next generation that's doing things over and over again, and becoming society's problem.
I remember part of the Jane and Finch program, some of the kids were afraid to leave their apartments and to come to the club. And so after school, and so some of the volunteers would have a little program where we'd pick up the kids and just walk, across a courtyard and bring them in.
Go get them.
Just go do it. And they would do arts and crafts, and then slowly they would learn and come out of their shell. It's very important. I just think that we can do so much more to reach out, and I think that it's a really amazing thing. I mean, I think you're motivating me to go back and volunteer at the club again.
Yes.
I love doing it.
Yeah. You have so much to offer. I can just imagine what an impact you made, just being a part of the lives of those children. You can really make a difference. They really do need it, because I'm telling you, the youth today, they're getting worse and worse. Things are not getting better.
It's confusing. I think we all can. I just think we all can. It's just sometimes just silly like for me, some of the silly little things are when kids are now. I see the young girls or whatever. They're taking Ubers all the time, and I'm like, I used to walk. I could never afford to take. I used to walk everywhere.
And they're living on social media.
Yeah.
And they think that these filters and this stuff that they're seeing is every day. And that's why we get so incensed when we see someone who had the privilege and the platform of a Meghan. Look what Diana did with her platform, and look what Meghan's doing with hers. Would you ever see Princess Diana trying to sell anybody a wine? I mean, I'm sorry.
She didn't.
It's graceful.
She didn't even.
What did you say, Paul? Let's say it again.
We didn't hear you.
Can you guys?
Can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
No, she's gone again.
Poor
I wonder
Paula.
what the important speech is. Who's taking up all the?
Yeah, we got to
internet
find
there?
out. Do any of you know?
Hello.
Okay, now we can hear
There she
you.
is.
Poor Paula.
Paula, I think I'm. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, it's okay. She'll be back.
You know, it's interesting. She has the wine. It would have been great if she actually would, if the wine went to something. Maybe it went to, you know, they have the Mothers Against Drug Driving, or they had a charity, or they had brought some awareness to it. I mean,
But
it's a
she's
bad
not
choice.
even. I know, but she's not even smart in the devious kind of way to say, well, why don't I just make the launch 100% go to charity, and maybe that will have people off my back for a bit. I mean, does that thought even enter her mind?
Right.
No, it's all me. What can I get? I mean, just have one thing on your website. 100% goes to whatever you believe in, woman. What do you believe in? Tell us. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. What do you believe in, woman?
It's just a disaster continuing to happen. I mean, I tell you.
I know.
Now, we also know that they're coming out with the verdict for P. Diddy right now, too. Did you know that?
Oh, maybe that's the
right now as we speak.
Ooh, really?
Yes, we're waiting
there's
for
been
the verdict.
there's
thank
been
you,
so
Susie
much.
D. Susie D sent a super stick or donation, or maybe she sent it to Paula. Thank you so much, Susie. Paula, are you there? I don't think. Yeah. Aw.
She's very upset about the wine drop, ladies. She's very upset about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was anybody waiting for her to have something on her Instagram today?
Oh no, Paula, you got to mute. Okay, there you go. Oh, thank you, Mary
Was
Carper,
that
for your donation.
Today's not over.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right, Manuela. The day is not over. I was just waiting for something. I was like, she's going to make it about her today. Some way, somehow. She's going to do it.
Yes, yeah, of course. And this is what she's okay. So I see you have a different connection now, Paula, right?
No, I still have the same thing. Let's hope that it'll go. If not, I'll go because I tried to do it on my phone, but then it's just a nightmare today. We'll see how it goes. If not, I'll just go to my phone. It's just because I love being able to hear you guys, you know, with the hearing things that I got.
Oh, that's right, because you have a hearing issue, right, Paula?
Uh-oh, she's gone. Well, I was going to say, Padina, on a side note, I saw Otis, and what is going on there? Why is there such bad blood now between the love of Siri and Mr. Otis? What is happening there?
Well, Otis wanted to go see the girl that used to live next door, and she's the same type of dog as Siri, and he's just being a little player right now.
Maybe he thinks it's Siri.
Yeah, maybe he thinks it is her. I don't know. Yeah, that could be part of it.
Well, I was watching you guys the other day to catch up, and I was like, what is happening there? It's a lot of intrigue that we need to find out about.
But what? I missed it, guys. I missed it. But what? Now I'm on my phone, so it shouldn't go.
Okay.
But now I'm going to sound like I'm screaming because I can't hear you guys. So I apologize for that. I apologize for the mess has been with my internet. It's something that's completely out of my control. But what were you guys saying that it was so juicy? I can't see the comments, so I can't thank anybody. So I want to thank you for anybody.
You got a super sticker from Susie D.
Oh, thank you, Susie.
And then Mary Carper sent one to me. Thank you. We were just talking about the drama between Otis and Siri. So
you mean that cheater? How can you laugh? How can you laugh? I still don't understand it.
I am so sorry. I'm sorry. He's playing on Siri. I'm sorry. What can I do?
You don't sound sorry. I mean, does Miss Padina sound sorry? No. Your body language indicates that you're actually enjoying it.
She's a boy mom.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a boy mom.
Look, I can't help it. Look, okay. So he's just a player.
How dare you?
Wants to go see
How
her.
dare you?
He wants to go see her. What can I do? What can I do?
That was actually
That's too
heartbreaking
funny.
for me. It makes my city not feel attracted. But I think we have to talk about because Prince William did something really wonderful today. He actually did something that is about homelessness. He went to the home ward. It's the second year, that he's doing that. He provides homes, that they provide homes and everything else for homeless people. And we know that was a very deep something that Princess
Homewards.
Diana was. Yeah, it's called Homewards. Yes, I can't show it because I'm not in the computer. I'm on my phone. But it's unbelievable because he's celebrating and following on his mother's footsteps. That he's actually doing something for the homeless, because Princess Diana, and I was watching this. I sent you guys the documentary yesterday in the group chat. And when she went, she would go literally when nobody was filming her during the night in really dangerous places, And then some of these people said that, she would knock on their cardboard boxes and they had no clothes. And then she would say something like, "Oh, I can see you dressed up for me." And then the guys would go, "Well, my clothes are in the dry cleaner." So that's so funny, and they would be like, "We love her. I can't believe, she just came talking to us." It was just unbelievable, that woman. And the guy, do you guys remember? I was gonna have, he was on Sean Atwood, remember Pat, the bodyguard that died of a heart attack suddenly after he gave that interview to Sean Atwood? Yes. He was going to come on my channel. He used to work for the Fayettes, and he was the last bodyguard that Princess Diana literally had. And then he said that, she would come, and she said she was so beautiful in person, and she was such a nice person, like really a nice person, and she never badmouthed anybody. And that they would manage to go to Saint-Tropez in disguise, and nobody even knew who she was. And they were still attracted to her angel people, how her kind was. This is something that you can't fake.
Yeah, you can't. You either have it or you don't. Right?
And he cried. Yeah, and he talked about it, and I can't believe he died. He died literally. He was gonna come on my channel on that Tuesday. And I reached out to Sean Atwood, because please, I urge you guys to go watch that video, that interview with Sean Atwood, and then I'm trying to remember his name now. See, and he said that when they were about to die, they were at this battle or something like that. You think of the people that that they sent they uploaded messages in case they found them, and because they were sure they were going to die, and for some reason Princess Diana came to his mind.
Yeah,
he said, because that's how much of an impact she had on me, and she was such a wonderful lady. He said, and it wasn't that she was, because there was nobody around, she didn't have to be nice to us, and he said that after Princess Diana being with the Fayettes for less than 2 days, the Fayettes started to be nice. They would say thank you, please to them. And he loved them. But it's just that their manners were not the best. So, and then I had a live with Matt the Angry Bootneck, and he said, how can people compare Meghan to Princess Diana? Princess Diana was holding babies with AIDS, with leprosy, Diana is trying to hawk a cheap bottle of wine rosé that's going to be shipped out to you on July 9th on the date that she died. And this is such a hypocrite, guys. And this is, Princess Diana, probably would be doing something for charity, which is why I please ask you, let's get to the goal of Diana, because she's doing something for kids that I'm always, impacted with children, because I know it sounds really stupid, but children are the future. I know it sounds stupid, like that song,
Stupid.
Yeah, but it's the truth. Like I was saying before, we've got to invest in young people, because it's just getting bad, and these children will become your problem if they are left to grow up on the streets and not have guidance, and not to have people that are there to teach them how to make good choices. Like, they will become society's problem. And you see it just here, where I live, there's these gangs. There's this now gangs around getting the Kia emblem from the Kia car. A guy went to go pick up McDonald's for his child or his children, And on his way to do that, he was hit by this gang of kids who just stole a Kia car and ran into him and killed this guy because
Oh my
this
gosh.
gang is out there they steal these Kia cars. Is like that's what they do as the gang. I mean, and then you have to wonder, well, who are your parents? What
Yeah.
home environment have you grown up in that you are able to be out here stealing cars? You know, it just and the parents sometimes are even like the worst because you have
They're all
some.
checked out. A lot of
Yes,
them are drugged up
yep,
themselves, checked out.
that's it.
And you start watching a couple of crime docs on YouTube, and how you get everything recommended to you, and it's all these horrible documentaries of these things, these horrible things that these parents do to their children, abandon them, they don't feed them, they're locked up in the house while they're out at the bar drinking. You're like, what is
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep, it is crazy. Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But this is the
And
thing
then
that we see values, differing values. It's like, and this, and you know what that bodyguard said also, which was really beautiful. He said, "Had this lady lived, the world be a different place." Because he said, 3 months after she died, they signed the worldwide agreement to ban landmines. This was one single lady, and we're not talking about the Beyonce song. So,
Okay.
so if this woman can do an impact, guys, we can all do impacts in people's lives in some way or the other, like with Pidina, don't buy yourself a coffee one day, but the $2 that you donate to Pidina, $2, before you know it, it makes a difference every dollar. Like, we can all make a difference. It's just that we've been led to feel that we can't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like people say to me on my channel, why do you keep talking about these two people or other people that I talk about? Because I just don't talk about Harry and Meghan Markle. It's because people want to silence you. People want you to get tired. They want to wear you down. So it's like, why do I talk? Because that behavior is still out there. And if we don't correct it or point it out, it becomes normalized. That's the correct behavior. The bullies become the victims.
Yeah.
And are we in a world where we want a Meghan Markle to be our beacon of somebody that used, or Harry the druggie?
Right.
Be the role models. Is that what we want? Because Princess Diana didn't drink, guys.
Right. She was not a
She didn't
drinker.
drink. She didn't drink, and she didn't drink. She didn't smoke. She didn't do drugs. So, and Harry's doing completely everything that his mother didn't do, and Meghan Markle as well.
Yep.
Like hawking a wine. Why didn't she start selling the wine on July 9th when she actually could allegedly ship it? Because she wanted to exploit it. And then we have Harry saying to John Travolta, "Oh, you're dining out of my mother's memory." Well, what is your skanky wife doing?
that's just projection.
Your
Just
mother,
Exactly.
and I know you watch Harry. Do you realize, Harry, that your mother died because of a drunk driver, and you have your skanky hoe of a wife and you berated the queen? And by the way, it wasn't Dan Wooden who broke the story. It was Kingsley Schofield, because I see a lot of comments that actually Kingsley Schofield broke the story yesterday about this lady who was the cousin of the queen and the Substack, and she pointed out that story. How Harry?
What was her name? Elizabeth what? What was her name, Paula? Elizabeth
I can't remember. Something like I don't have access to the computer right now because my internet sucks. But she has this Substack. Go watch Kingsley Schofield, because yesterday she did it, and she was amazing because she reported on the story how Harry shouted at the queen for 10 minutes.
10
Yep, I
minutes.
heard it.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Lizzie B, for your donation.
Thank you, guys.
And Princess Carlisle is saying that they've come to a partial verdict for the P. Diddy case.
Oh, what did they say?
Let's see what it says. Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
what is the partial verdict? Okay.
Someone said something about tomorrow too, so I don't know if they've been dismissed, but
Okay.
But this is something, this is something that that we see all the time, guys. We see all the time, somebody like Princess Diana, somebody who wasn't very well educated, If you think about it, she wasn't well educated. She didn't have an education.
Yeah.
In fact, she wasn't book smart. but she had a heart,
No, she
and she was a
wasn't.
lady.
Yeah.
She was very athletic, and she was graceful, and she was attuned to the emotions and the emotional needs of others. You could
Other things.
tell,
Yep.
in anticipation of this live last night, I was just watching some documentaries on her that I had seen in the past. And what do you ladies think? But just in the way that she would hold a baby
Yeah, and look at
or
it.
a child, you
Mhm.
knew that it was not an act with that woman. It
Mhm.
wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's that glaring difference that we see. And that's what makes me so charmed and love Catherine so much, because I'm so happy that William went out and found a woman that is genuine and is loving
Mhm.
and really does want to make a charitable difference in the world, and the way
Yeah.
that she makes the focus about others and not herself, no matter what she's doing.
Right. Because
And we all know
Diana,
who can't stand that.
and the thing about Diana is that she grew up so privileged, but yet she still has
Mm-hmm.
all this compassion for those that had less than her, or who grew up in
Mm-hmm.
really difficult circumstances. Like that kind of person that really cares for people, that have grown up, because she's grown up with so much, and to care for people that have nothing, almost like the homeless
Mm-hmm.
people. I mean, that is a woman that has a true, genuine heart to do good, and her ability to bring attention to the things that needed attention, like the good that she was able to bring in the world, the impact she made was
Mm-hmm.
just phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
she knew she could do it, and she did, and it was just, there has never been anyone like that.
It will never be. I don't think that we'll ever
No.
see somebody like that, because I think, it's not that I'm a sycophant of Princess Diana. Everybody has their flaws. People think, no, she was a night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I was looking through pictures. I actually wanted to share them, but because they're on my computer and the internet sucks, I can't share them. And I actually saw pictures of Charles and her when they were like courting, right? She
Mhm.
was so young, so
Mhm.
Okay.
19 years
inexperienced.
old.
But not only
Yeah.
that, she was so inexperienced. You can see that.
Oh, yeah.
And I've heard some people that have been so nasty saying that she was a hoe, that she had done all the guys in her circle. For those people, Princess Diana was checked by the royal doctor to make sure she was a virgin.
Virgin, yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's how humiliating it had to be. And those people saying that she was a slut and stuff like that, how dare you? And you know
And
what's
that was
even worse?
1981, for goodness sake, they were doing that. My goodness,
Mhm.
And then it's like people were angry at her because she had lovers and stuff like. So what did you want her to do? To basically just stay in the castle while Charles is going all over the place with his three mistresses, with Camilla, Kang, and the Canadian lady, at least,
Yeah,
having his
kinda, yeah.
mistress, having his mistress come, one of his mistress come every weekday and rearrange the furniture so Diana would know she'd been there, leak stories to the press, declare her. Camilla actually, and this is not hating, these are facts, people. Camilla asked Charles after she gave birth to after she gave birth to William, because she entered in postpartum depression, to put her in a psychiatric ward
Mm, yeah,
because she
that
was crazy. And then
yeah.
she leaked that to Stuart Higgins. And Princess Diana was not going crazy. Somebody was leaking the info, and it was Camilla.
Mm,
So it's like, and it really bothers me when people don't understand that she had a right to fight back. She
yeah,
had a
she
right
had a
to fight
right.
back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because if people
I
are throwing all these allegations at you, what are you supposed to do? Just not do or say anything? And you're the naive one,
Yeah.
you're the newcomer, you're the one who is trying to learn from the people
Mhm.
around you. I just think she got a bad rap. But at the same time, I also think that's why we know that the royal family was trying to do everything they could to help Meghan, because of how they failed Diana. They were
Yes,
trying to make it
absolutely.
better for Meghan, you know?
And with
And not
Catherine
only
and
that,
her,
but she wasn't. Oh no, go ahead, Paula.
Mhm.
with Catherine as well, they did the same because Catherine,
Yeah.
Meghan was complaining about racism. They had 9 paps,
Yeah.
and I was rewatching that thing because I did my video yesterday about that. And she's walking and she's calling and she's walking in Toronto just buying the flowers where she's smiling. I just said hi to the guys, right? Well, the
Mhm.
pap talked and
Mm-hmm.
he said that Meghan had phoned him to tell them that she was going to be there. And she told them that she was Prince Harry's girlfriend. And that's why they showed up, because she sent them pictures of her and Harry. So they believed her. So that's why they were there, because she had phoned them to be there. And you know, Manuela, that in that street, they have CCTV cameras. And Meghan Markle has not been able to present like 10 or 20 or 9, not even 9 or 10 paps stalking that street, because that's a narrow street. And they have
It's a narrow street. It's a narrow street. It's a one-way street. And my street goes up one way and hers goes across this way. So they meet. And you can see there was no extra traffic, no extra, you know, and the neighborhood is all, it was Italians and Portuguese and whatnot in the neighborhood. And they all talk to each other. Nobody knows what they were talking about. So it's not, I mean, this was all in her head. I mean, this was just to create the noise and to probably sell. I am, you know, I guess Harry was just so, I don't know, what do you call that? Blinded by everything, or lives
deluded.
Yeah, also
deluded.
Not in touch, not understanding.
Yeah,
she's not who you think she is, right?
No, but you know, we talked. Remember, we were just talking about the affair. So Charles had his, Diana had hers. We all know she had faults. She knew she had faults, but she was not out there preaching or trying to have this persona as if she's better than everyone else, the way that Meghan does. You know what
Diana,
I mean? She didn't.
Her heart.
Yeah.
Her heart was so
fact, she admitted
she was
to
just
her
trying
own
to put it
fault. She would
together.
make fun of herself, like, I'm not
She
the smartest.
did.
I had this
She
affair.
did.
Yes, I did this. Yeah, this is why people like her, because she owned up to stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I had bulimia.
Yeah.
Yes, I had this. Yes, I did that.
Yep.
Yes, I had an affair. Yes, I adored him. Yeah, he let me down.
Yeah.
You know, yes, there were 3 of us in the marriage, you know. Again, and she said, and you know what? And she said something that she didn't believe Charles was right for the job, that he should go to William. And I agree with her. And I know people are going to hate me for it. But it is the truth. I believe that the monarchy would be a hell of a lot more popular right now if Parliament had offered the seat to the throne to William and not Charles. Can you imagine that coronation?
Yeah.
But I mean, she told her story. She didn't make excuses for herself. She didn't lie about herself. She said, I wasn't good in school. I wasn't this. I wasn't that.
Yeah.
I had bulimia, just like you said, Paula. But she told the story, and then, okay, that was the end of it. She didn't go on in the last years of her life to all these news outlets, look at me, look what they did to me. Because she respected the monarchy, and she knew her son, firstborn, was going to have a place in it. So it was very important to her not to go out and bash and trash them the way that her son does now. And I've never understood that, because that's the only thing that gives Harry relevance. And he's going to go out and he's going to try to destroy his family.
Right.
To what end? To what end? They're the only thing that gives you and your wife and your children any type of relevance.
No, but she said it in that interview in
Doesn't make
Panorama.
sense.
Of course, she loved the monarchy. That was her son's institution.
Right.
That why
Absolutely.
would she didn't say, well, why would I hate the monarchy? I want my son. This is my son's legacy, and I want Harry to support him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like the Queen. So Princess Diana was. I'm not saying she was a saint. I have never claimed that way, but she was loved because she was flawed, and she admitted it, and she could empathize people. Because, you know, this woman could have just, you know, earned her millions and go to Fort Dior, which Meghan would, I mean, she got offers, you know, Patrick Jepson, her private secretary, he said that she got offers. So, I mean, the amounts of money that she got offered, she would be like a billionaire, like 20 times over, because everybody wanted her.
She didn't have any interest in that. She didn't have any interest in that.
She was really offended. It's like, do they think I'm going to do that?
Yeah.
You know, they can donate to, and she never opened a charity. She said, I can become a patron and highlight stuff, but I'm not gonna, you know, open anything. I can help your cause. You want me to walk through a landmine? Yes, I will walk through a landmine. So this is something that spirit is gone nowadays. And then we have a selfish cow, a selfish skank mattress actress that smells bad weaves, bad hair, bad skin, bad everything. You know, with an idiot prince, because Harry's not bright. And guys, I really believe that this guy's IQ is below average, and this guy should have gone to special school. Like Tom, like Forrest Gump. He should have gone to special school. Like because I mean, all it takes, and this is what the lady said, that Meghan is not, and the problem is that Meghan is not smart, clearly, because her life is a mess. She hasn't been able to make a success out of anything. And in fact, she's scamming people. If she were smart, she would be in the predicament she finds herself in today. But she is less stupid than that guy. She's more cunning.
Yep, absolutely.
I think Forrest Gump had more common sense than Harry, Paula.
Oh, he was more, yes, but this is the thing, you see, and I said it in my video. I think I said it yesterday. The problem with Harry is that he has dark feelings. He's envious, because you can have people that are below IQ, but they are noble. Harry's not a noble person. He has very dark personality, nasty feelings. And Meghan Markle immediately spotted that because she's also like that.
Yeah. It's unbelievable that you can't see the shortcomings of this woman to know that something needs to be done. You don't get anywhere that's in a better space if you ignore it. And I just think the king ignoring a lot of these things has put a lot of disdain, it has besmirched the name of the monarchy without much opposition. And I think there has to be something that is really traumatic to do something about it, to make it known that we do not stand for this kind of behavior. I mean, you just look at what it's already done to Harry and his well-being, his mental health. It's a really serious matter. And I think putting your head in the sand is not a good way to address this new age problem that you've never had before. This has never happened in the history of the monarchy. So I think it calls for a different type of dealing with such type of circumstance. Absolutely.
The fact that they're still on that website, to me, is unbelievable. Promoting and they don't say their commercial website. Because it's a commercial website. It's not an official website. Harry and Meghan are not a part of the branch of our government. They're not part of the monarchy. They're not part of anything. So they're not official. They should have said this is their commercial website. So people know that is commerce. It's not a branch of the royal family. But by them phrasing it like, here is their official website. And it's in our page. A page, by the way, that is paid for by the UK people. And, I don't understand why they have them there. It's like having two former disgruntled employees who are trashing your company.
It's true. Yeah, it is true.
And I mean, Meghan doesn't stop. I mean, how tasteless of this woman to be selling 3 bottles of booze because it's the minimum, but you don't get it right away. It's July 9th.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They don't know what their final order is going to be. They probably need to keep keeping the inventory open to see. Before they actually label it.
But not very many people are buying, and not very many people. And by the way, that winery was bought by Wine States Vintage, and they filed for Chapter 11. So I guess that they thinking by garnering attention with Meghan Markle. I mean, people are stupid. Meghan Markle only associates herself with bankrupt companies or corrupt companies like Harry with African Parks. We don't know what happened to Centevale. By the way, we want to thank all of you who are donating to P. Dinah's charity, guys. Please don't stop donating. We're doing all of this for her today. And so please help, like a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there will get us to our goals. I don't know how much we've raised because I don't have access to the phone.
Oh, Michelle made it a super sticker. Thank you, Michelle, my friend Michelle from England. Thank you, dear. Yes. And
I was just thinking, Harry could use your charity, Pidana. He could actually learn some life skills. He really needs to have some life skills. I was just thinking if Diana would have been 64, and as a mom looking at your children at that age and seeing that they can't really handle themselves. I mean, that's
we should probably
40?
do private coaching. Private coaching for Princess.
They did. They did everything for him, ladies, from pay bill. I mean, he didn't know how to pay a bill. He probably didn't know how to get a cell phone line. I mean, nothing. He probably didn't even know how to put gas in a car. Let's face it. The man has been sheltered his entire life, and now he's being isolated by this woman who's just, it's a frightening situation.
And it is very sad. It is very sad. It is very sad that it is very sad that people are not seeing that, because it's hard to. Princess Diana is a woman who's dead. So let's go look at this from this perspective. How much good in the world did she do compared to her personal struggles or whatever it is? When you weigh that in, when you weigh that in against, okay, she had 2 or 3 lovers. Oh, sorry. I didn't know that made her such a horrible person. But when you look at everything she did for leprosy, for landmines, for AIDS, for homelessness, it's like people want to judge her for her personal life for something that she actually had every right to do, which is look for happiness. She was inexperienced, but he's like, no, you can't. You can't look for happiness. That's terrible. So
she didn't flaunt anything. I mean, she just went to work and did stuff. I mean, she put some time and some effort into some charities and got notoriety, or brought awareness to those causes because of who she was and because of how she conducted herself and all of that. But the other stuff that she needed for herself personally and privately, she didn't flaunt that. She didn't rub it in anybody's face. I don't think that I mean, her motivation was very different. I think her motivation was more about she was trying to heal herself, maybe, and through that healing the world, and in little acts that she could do, and brought so much awareness. To this day, we still talk about her, and we still talk about the causes that she was involved in. That's impressive to be able to do that, 20 odd years later, and still be able to have that kind of effect on people. That just shows you that there was something very real about it, very honest about it.
Yeah, and also,
she wasn't, she wasn't out there preaching, though. You know what I mean? She was doing it. She was doing it.
She wasn't giving those word salad speeches where she looked hungry or drugged and, rambling on. She didn't give speeches. She like that. She would go and do the things. You need me here? I'll go here. You need me there? I'll go here. You want me to do this? I'll go here. It's like everywhere she went, and she would tell people, and she would keep up with people and stuff like that. So for her, it wasn't anything about show. And this is one of the things that people don't get. And yet, unfortunately for her, she was beautiful and she was glamorous. And she said, I'm going to use that as a tool to attract, because she used her beauty and her sense of fashion to highlight really, really horrible causes, if you think about it, And people, I remember that picture with AIDS. And I remember the headlines. They go, if it's good enough for this lady to shake this AIDS patient's hand, is good enough for us. Yeah. And I mean, there you went. The same thing happened with leprosy. When she had so many people, and she said, well, right. Okay. Right. Oh, I know they're going to come. I know they're going to talk about my fashion, but I'm going to use him as well. And she did it looking beautiful. So this is why people loved her, because, you don't have to show up wearing jeans, show up looking like a bloody princess. Because then you want people to see your status. Because you see, she was selling her status, like my status. If somebody of my status can care for these people, because why are you going to be wearing jeans and a t-shirt or whatever? You want to look like a princess, so people can see the contrast and say, oh, okay, this is somebody that important and is bending down and it's like grabbing these kids, picking them up. Then it sends the correct message.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And people need to feel that. They need to see you as someone who is at a different level, because that's what you bring just by your appearance. So why not dress the part, and be that?
And she didn't try to monetize anything. Could you imagine if she would have done what Meghan does, where she's doing charitable things, but yet she launched something like a tea line or a makeup line, or it was like, that wasn't even in her orbit. She didn't even think about stuff like that. She didn't want to monetize and get, personal gain off of what she was doing. And that is the stark contrast. That's the difference that people see.
Yeah. I mean, she is delusional if she thinks she's going to come anywhere close to who Diana was. I mean, it's just, and Harry trying to always make that equation is pathetic. It is just embarrassing. And I just loved how the sisters of Diana, when Harry tried to say that Diana or Meghan was so much like Diana, their sister, they were like, no, she's not. What you
Yeah,
They
talking?
gave
no.
What
him,
you
what
talking?
did they give him, Pat? What did
Mm-mm.
they give him? The side
They
eye.
gave him the side eye, like, come on now, Harry, for real, for real. I don't think so.
So yeah, so the whole point of today's live class was to first to say Happy Canada Day because we're Canadian, at least two of us here,
Yep.
and second, to remember the life of Princess Diana. Like I was saying, Pat, people want to say, "Oh, she had so many lives." Okay, let's see how many millions of lives did she save with the landmine thing? How many
Mhm.
millions of lives did she save with being the patron for AIDS, leprosy, homelessness?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
really changed the stigma of the AIDS. I mean, the amount of good that she did behind that is innumerable. Is that the right word? Like innumerable? Like you can't count it. It's too
Mm-hmm.
large. I mean,
yeah,
it changed the whole dynamic.
incalculable.
Incalculable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. It's like you can't put a number behind it because that's how much of a difference she made. And you can't overlook that because who would be able to do that? Like what person could just show up and shake the hand of someone with AIDS and it changed the whole mindset of how people saw AIDS at the time. Like
It completely changed it.
it
Absolutely
completely
changed it.
changed it. Exactly, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can't like diminish that. You certainly cannot equate that to someone like a Megan that she has that ability. Like she's
No.
has the like-minded type of you know what's personality or star power. You can't
Mm-hmm.
do that because that is literally an abomination, okay, to
Mm-hmm.
do that, considering all the horrible things this woman has done,
Yeah.
especially to the late queen. So we got to keep it real. And this is how Harry, he seriously needs some help. Because if you're going to try to make that equation, like it is really a dark time for you mentally
Yeah.
to see that
Yeah.
because it's not there at all. Okay. So yeah, I say it and I'll continue to say it. Harry is in a dark space, folks. A very
Yeah.
dark space. He needs help immediately. It is an emergency.
Yeah, so we have here that Prince William
Yep.
honored his mom's birthday by spotlighting a mission close to her heart, homelessness. So this is why we ask you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and this is funny because we have this little platform. We don't even have access to the platform that Meghan Markle through Skankhood got access to. You
Wait,
know,
Mm-hmm.
I know.
oh wait,
You're
She
I'm
had
sorry.
there.
how many different
Oh
how many
yeah.
but
different personas did that woman
guys,
have?
I can guarantee you that if we had access to like the platform that Meghan Markle, we would have like millions of dollars in
Oh
offer right now
yeah.
if we were doing a real charity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if she was here, if Meghan Markle had sat down with that if we had that access to that charity, or even to say that we have contact with the royal family or something like that, people would be flocking, dying to donate. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are, four little YouTubers. And Drew's doing her best, and Pidan is doing her best to help kids for real, and it's like, and instead we have Sussex Squad, we have other people, and this is why it angers me, the waste of platform.
Yeah.
That is a
And
waste of platform. So I want to thank you guys for donating for this because it really does make a difference, and we are really thankful. We don't take any of you for granted.
Yeah.
And if we YouTubers like these four YouTubers here, well, I do my thing with my shelter and Pidina with her children with their education thing as well. But and we have Manuela dedicating her time, Jennifer dedicating her time. It's the yeah, it's and Megan instead is hawking wine. You know what I mean? And it's such a
Yeah.
waste of yeah. So if you can donate $2, don't drink the Starbucks tomorrow. I don't know how much Starbucks costs, but don't drink your Starbucks,
Yeah.
instead donate to that charity. That'll
Thank
add
you.
up,
Yeah.
because that is something, and that's what we want to do here, because I do believe that giving giving is something that I know people say, but it's only $1, but you know what? That dollar counts.
It really
Mhm.
does. You know, they
You
say
know, like
95% of the charities that are sustainable, they don't get their money from grants. They get their majority of their money is from small donations and large numbers of people donating.
yeah,
That's
Mhm.
how they make their money. And
yeah,
that's what we're trying to do. We have I guess, an opportunity here, right? To really reach out to everyone to just be that percent of that large number, and every
yeah,
small amount helps.
And it's a charity. It's not a foundation. They formed a
Yeah,
foundation, you guys.
that's true.
They're only legally obligated by laws in the US to donate 3%. The rest they can use to enrich their own portfolios. That's what a foundation is. How
Mm,
disgraceful. I mean,
yeah.
how many times did she alter her personas? Remember when she wanted to catch him, she turned into the world humanitarian?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're going to marry into that family and that's what you profess, and she wanted to get on the ground, boots on the ground, and do all this, well, then
Hmm.
why the heck would you leave that platform? For what reason? You
Exactly.
had it. You had it, girl. You had the microphone, you had the platform, you had the love. Everyone was into her. She was a
Hmm.
beautiful biracial woman that was supposedly a breath of fresh air, right? And
she
Hmm.
was
oh, Harry finally
she
found
was
his
a
love.
breath of something. She was breath of heaven,
Yeah.
for you ask me, but she
Yeah,
was taking
but I
breath.
mean, everyone
Oh,
was giving her so much positive attention in the
yeah, they
beginning.
were.
And
Yeah.
what could she
For
have done?
human
What I mean,
sulfur, like
I mean,
I'm sorry.
she no, it's fine. But it's like what, 18 months total. Think about it. 18 months total in that family. She
No,
wasn't
no, but
even
she
in the
wasn't
family
there. I
long
gotta
enough.
correct you. I gotta
Yeah.
correct you. She wasn't there the entire 18 months. She was traveling the
Well, you're right.
world.
Right, right.
She went to Italy, she went to the United States. We know she was in Canada when she sent that trolling letter to her own father. We know, I mean, this woman
Mhm.
was traveling all over the place. The only times that she came to the UK was when she had to do the engagements. But she was meeting with people in Los Angeles, in Canada, going to Italy, Amsterdam. She was supposed to have been already pregnant when she went to the opening of the Soho House in 2018,
Ooh.
7 days
Mm.
before, what's her name? Eugenie got married, and she announced she was pregnant. Yeah, she was drinking
Mm.
in Amsterdam at that party.
Yeah. Yeah. Just unbelievable. I just hope that there's going to be an expose on what she really did before she married into the royal family. I know we know what we've heard about her, but I think there was a lot of suppressed information by
Mhm.
those
Mhm.
higher powers, right? And that needs to
Yeah.
be uncovered. I think, especially even now, even like the bullying report, like this woman gets things suppressed. And the only reason why is because there is a there
She's
there. There
being
is something
protected.
there. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
She is being protected, and Charles, I believe, is protecting her because he loves his son.
Yep.
But who
There's
protected
Absolutely.
her
nothing wrong
before?
with loving his son. That's absolutely okay. But then there's the monarchy, and what
Mhm.
is worse is that they're allowing them to keep the titles because we know they're wiping their ass with the queen. It wasn't, and I keep repeating it, it wasn't a negotiation. The queen wasn't asking Harry and Meghan's permission for them to stop using their HRH. It was a command. It's in writing. The queen said
Mhm.
you cannot use it.
Mm.
Period. Not in private, not in public. You cannot use it.
Cannot use it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a command. That was not an agreement because Harry and Meghan, it was not for Meghan and Harry to agree. That was the queen's decision. Just like
Yeah.
when the Queen issued the letters patent stripping the Princess of Wales of using the HRH and said that all ex-wives cannot use the HRH. That is not a
Yeah.
negotiation. A monarch does not negotiate. A monarch
Well, don't
agrees.
you remember? They
Yeah.
were in collaboration. Remember they said
Yeah.
we're in collaboration. Remember they said that
Hmm.
on their statement, and we're thinking,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
collaborates
Yeah.
with Her
Nobody
That
doesn't
was
Majesty?
the
collaborate,
word.
buddy boy. But can you send your link to George the Giant Slayer? You have his phone, so can you send it to him because he's gonna join the live? Because
Oh,
Wait, say
I'm
oh.
on my phone. I'm on my phone, Pat, and I
oh,
don't.
you want me to do it? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You want me to
can
do
you
it?
send him the link to your live? So the StreamYard, because you set up the StreamYard,
Oh,
right?
yes. Well, I didn't set up the StreamYard. You did.
Oh, okay, but you're okay.
But I have it. I can
Okay,
send
can you
it to
send it to
him.
him? It's because
Yeah.
I don't see, he wants to join, but I don't. I am very limited, guys, because I don't see anything because I'm on my phone. I very much apologize for this, but there's nothing I can do. The internet is absolutely appalling.
I just sent it to him. Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that. So I'm using my little phone.
Yeah. No, Manuela, you were going to say something. What were you going to say, dear? Oh, you need to mute Paula. I can hear echo.
No, I guess one of the points that I was going to talk about was the fact that, just Diana did a lot of what she did without even speaking. She just did it. I mean, everything was like images. You could see that she actually touched people. She spent time in the silence doing that, just hugging and holding. Meghan spends a lot of time tossing word salad around. And the more she does that, I mean, Diana had a lot of power in her silence and her presence and by her actions. So it shows you that the more you get to know somebody, especially someone like that the more she dilutes, the more she reveals who she is, the more we can see that her words and her deeds do not align. And that's the problem. They don't come together. And this is where I think that's one of the biggest learnings that I'm very interested in is when you see, especially you can hear people and they kind of mesmerize you or you want to believe in them. And then you see their actions and they're doing everything the opposite. And then your brain goes, well, which is the real them? What if you have to follow, what do you follow? Most people might follow the words, but I think experience shows you follow the deeds because it's the actions that really are more of the essence of who the person is and what they're going to do.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's the thing. When you look at what Meghan did, even with the launch of her products, first it was, I'm not going to continue, and then she talks about she's going to, then she launches the apricot and then here's the wine. But before that, like a month ago, it was like, she's going to hold off.
I know.
I had an article saying it. Like this is a person that does not have clear purpose of what she is trying to, she's all over the place. This is somebody who you can't put anything behind because you don't have true commitment. You don't have someone who's got a clear perspective of what she is trying to do.
Yeah.
She's just trying to get over the best way she can, and she's throwing pasta at the wall to see what sticks. That is not a good person to align behind. I'm sorry.
I was a little naughty on one of my videos the other day, and I was like, I really do think, and this is just my personal opinion, that whatever combination of booze or pills she does for whatever day, that just determines the strategy, right?
Yeah. So
I'm going to go on a podcast and have Beyonce's mom, Miss Tina, is kind of like, what is your business plan? I'm sorry, what? So she's probably feeling like she embarrassed me on that podcast. She dared to question me, and because you could tell she was flustered with that whole thing because Tina's on point. She's like, well, what's the plan? What is this? I don't agree with this.
Right.
So I think, so she probably went home, had a few cocktails, screamed at Harry, and then the next day, oh, look, she's restocking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, come on.
Maybe she's getting even at Harry. This is her payback to Harry to sell booze on her mother's day that she died.
Who knows?
To keep him traumatized.
I wouldn't put it past her.
What if she's getting back at Harry selling booze to keep him traumatized on his Mother's Day after she died in a car crash by a drunk driver? Is this her way to literally troll Harry?
Yeah, I think it is a way to troll Harry. Absolutely. And she would be the person to do something like that to keep him down.
Zero principles. Don't forget, don't buy your Starbucks tomorrow. Donate to Pidina's thing.
And she had a lot of alcohol on that Netflix season 1. Well, we all know it was one long season. It's not 2. Right. But I was even telling my mom the other day, I was like, I wonder how much booze she's going to show herself drinking on that show. Yeah. Are they going to edit it out or or probably not if she's going to shill the wine now. Think about it, right?
That's why she's probably, selling the wine so she can, I guess she wants to drink so much of it. Why not make money off of selling it,
Yeah.
Someone probably said, "What's the one
Think about
constant in all your shows? It's wine." That's
Right.
the one
The booze.
constant that she
But
has.
it's not even the right color for a rosé. Did you see? I mean, and I
I
hate
know.
sometimes
Look, it
doing
looks
this, and
like yellow piss. It looks like yellow piss with a little bit of blood in it. Like if you have your period and a drop, and you had a little bit of a drop in there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Paula, you're gonna drive me to drink. Just stop. Stop.
I wish I could drink.
You
I
know
can't.
what? We all should have done that. We all should have come with a glass of rosé to show what it's supposed to look like. I could buy $2 Chuck and it would probably look better than that.
Oh,
You guys remember $2 Chuck? Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
$2 Chuck.
$2 Chuck was like, it was like, well, I was living in California at the time. Trader Joe's would sell this brand called Charles Shaw, and it was $2, and everyone called it $2 Chuck, and you would buy $2 Chuck. And there was Chardonnay, Merlot, everything. But yeah. But I was like, oh, we all should have had our rosé on this live. That would have been so
that
funny.
would have been really on point.
But then after an hour and a half, who knows what we would have been saying?
Right, I would have been worthless.
Yeah.
Hi, George.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah,
Hey,
you know,
George.
George, I am so sorry. I was supposed to have you on last week.
It's okay. We can always do it for another week. Not
Okay.
a problem at
There we
all.
go.
Not a problem at all. How are y'all
Okay.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
Good. Hot in Texas.
Oh, is it really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm in Texas too. It's hot. It's hot.
It is. Typical
Yeah.
summer. Typical
Yeah.
summer. Ninth,
Yeah.
ninth circle of hell. But I love it. Nothing better than ninth circle.
What's the latest and greatest with you? Any news about anything you're talking about, or?
Just working. Well, I started to work on a video about, I actually did my first UK video, basically how the UK has been changed and collapsing. You know, you went from Great Britannia ruling half the planet to now putting out public service announcements about breakfasty, because the government's about to start fining people £2,500 if they don't have used tea bags in their car.
What?
Yeah, because it supposedly absorbs moisture and defogs the window, but it's just a bunch of craziness, because it's like, a lot of people are saying, look how far it's gone, but I see like the heroes of England getting ready to rise. I mean, they've been betrayed, let's see, by bureaucrats, bent over by politicians, and then blindsided by a king. So I was working on that, and I'm working on a deep dive into Hollywood and Rachel Ziegler, and then the Megans.
Wow.
A lot of
Okay.
light topics.
Just get
Light
another
topics.
Yeah.
Right, Thomas. Oh, I love my cousins
What do you
across
make
the
of all of
pond.
this, George, about, I don't know if you guys can hear me. What do you make of all of this about the fact that, like Meghan is selling booze on the day that Harry's mom died of a drunk driver? I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, can you please make it make sense?
A whore's gonna whore.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, I know I don't.
It's right to
typically-
the point.
I don't typically speak like that, but I mean, she's just taking it past any level of
Yeah.
sincerity, respect, or there's no reason. To me, it's like pull off the gloves. You got a cockroach, you step on it. I mean, she is no longer anything above a bug,
Yeah.
because that's the way she's been acting. She's been treating. When you take a look, that's one of the videos that I've been working on, is kind of doing this the same way I did my monologue. I'm doing kind of like a documentary monologue of Harry and Meghan from the beginning, going through everything. And when you start piecing together just the fact that anything that Prince William or Princess Catherine do, she immediately copies. Anything that anyone that she believes that she is either better than or should be their equal, she copies. Dress, jewelry, clothing, toys, you name it. And you're talking about it's not even narcissism anymore. It's if she realized how she looks to the world, go on eBay right now. It's like the blatant lie when she comes out. That's why I cannot wait. I want to, it's like no real reporters pin them down. Because if you would just have one time it would happen, that would be it. It would burst the bubble. We're all doing it. You all ladies are all doing it. But imagine someone's going to go, okay, you said you sold out in an hour, right? Cool. Let's take a little trip over to eBay. because I used to sell stuff on
Mm-hmm.
eBay years ago. When something sells out in under an hour, guess what? On eBay, it's 2 to 3 times the price. It
That's
has, you
true.
can't find it.
Yeah.
It keeps going up week after week, hour by hour. Go up right
Mhm.
now on eBay. Audience, go check on eBay for anything from as ever. Nothing
Okay.
has sold.
Let's see.
And you got 2 or 3 items up there.
Yeah.
Really? They wouldn't be able to keep it in stock. It would be at $1,000.
That
Very
is
good
so
point.
true. That is a
Mhm.
very good point.
Yep.
So we have like I see 6 items for sale for $35.
That's why I said it's sold out in under an hour. It's like, come on. I got some
Wow.
wood milk to sell you if you're going to believe that. Have you ever seen that wood milk commercial that made fun of all the wokies?
No.
Oh, you got to
Mm-mm.
check it out. It's by, I think it's the actress is Aubrey Plaza, because they were starting to come out with like avocado milk and pecan milk, and so
Yeah.
she made this fun commercial called Wood Milk.
Okay.
Brought to you by the forest. And she goes for like 3 minutes. It's just a beautiful commercial. It's a beautiful video. You got to check it out.
Okay.
So, yeah, when you have that, when it's available on eBay and the price is the same,
Yeah.
that didn't sell out in under an hour. It's like, come on. That's
Yeah.
why the reporters aren't doing their jobs.
They're
None
not.
of them.
No.
Because if one person did that with her live on the air, that would be it. This whole scam would be over.
Yeah,
Mm.
because the reporters like to talk about it, but they don't really like to do journalism anymore. It's up to us. And
Yep.
then when we come up and present the receipts, then we have the very same journalists who should have done their work ridicule us. And then not only that, but then you have other Sussex Squad, and then you have other people on top of the Sussex Squad trying to discredit whatever it is. And no matter how many receipts you bring, it's like people much rather keep the narrative going than
Yeah.
expose it and deal with it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Totally.
That's because they're not working for the truth anymore. They're not looking for facts. They're looking for rage clicks. Look, I like clicks. They bring views, but since the beginning, mine was never to fall into the rage click territory. That's why I respect all of you. It was, here is the truth. I didn't join YouTube to join Clown World. I came to shut Clown World down.
Mhm.
And that's how I view it. And the others, they want to participate, and they're like, how do I keep the grift going?
Mhm. Right.
That doesn't do the world any good.
Right. You got to be out there, really trying to get to, I think, the truth. I think it's a lot of harm. Meghan is in a position, I think, to cause a lot of harm. She's already done a lot of things that I think that are going to be very hard for Harry to overcome, just with his life in general and his whole background and all the things that he's lost. And I mean, his life is in shambles right now, and it really is because of Meghan.
Right.
It really is.
I shared a screen.
And
with you.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was going to say, but no, she's not only destroyed her intimates and their circle, but what has she done on the world stage? I mean, she set all this racial, everything is race with this woman. And it's just so divisive and so hateful and so hurtful. And then you've got people in the UK fighting amongst each other about, who she is and what she's. It's just this trail that she's left in her wake. She's like the Tasmanian devil, everywhere she goes.
Perfect example. And that is.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
But again, if we look at evil is going to evil. Since the dawn of time, evil people were around. They're going to be here till the end. It's not what evil does. It's what good people do. And I blame all of this, not only on Meghan, but on the king. On the king. I blame it on Harry. The king put his son before his country. And if that's the case, he should have never taken the crown. He shouldn't have. That is not. Yeah. A king goes, my people first, family second. That's the sacrifice. Not everybody wants to make that throughout history. Many princes gave it up. They're like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He chose it.
Point.
You chose it. And when you choose that path in life, then your family, yes, does suffer. But He didn't. It's like I view Harry no different. It's kind of like, you know how they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? It's like the tampon doesn't fall far from the tree. I see Harry is no different than King Charles now. I'm just done.
But George, not only that, he could offer his son support in a private capacity. But again, we're worried because Harry would leak everything. But still, you have to show strength within the public domain. And I mean, that's what his subjects are crying out for. And they're not getting it.
He could actually do Harry a favor and take care of his citizens by saying, you know what? Come out. He gives a speech. I've been negligent. I realized that I was not listening to my son. I wasn't listening to the people. So I'm going to do two things at the same time. You know, take out two birds with one stone. I want my son to have all the freedom he can get. I cannot do that as a king. So I'm stepping down.
George, I can't share the screen, but you know what? Who can? Jen, you have access to my StreamYard.
Oh, are we okay? I don't know what I'm doing though. I'm gonna screw it up.
All you have to do is you're gonna see if you get into the StreamYard, you will see that George shares something. All you have to do is allow it.
Yeah, you just click the picture. It'll say add stage.
I can do it. I think so. I can. What is it that you want me to find?
You see,
have Padina try it. I'm not sure what the heck I'm doing.
What is it that you need?
You see that picture at the bottom on the left? It should be right next to everybody.
Okay, let me see. Oh, I don't see it on my end. It's not.
I don't have it on mine either.
No worries.
That's all because you're our manager of my thing. Yeah,
but you know what? I'm not logged in. I just clicked that link you sent me yesterday to join the live, and I'm not logged in.
If you log into my StreamYard, you get out and then log into my StreamYard, you'll be able to manage everything and be able to add and share stuff.
I'm gonna screw this
that
up.
way we can do that, because I'm sorry about this, guys, but there's nothing I can do about the internet. It really sucks. I'm using my phone internet. So
who's coming to your country? That's why they've destabilized the internet. They did that in China too. When I lived there, it would always be unstable.
All I have to say that the name of the new company who's running the communications it starts with N, and the other name and the other one is C. And it's not North Carolina; it's a country.
Oh no.
NC. You have South. And then you have a North one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, those are the ones that are doing this today. So they're taking over. So no, but I wanted to say that thank you for coming, George. That's such an amazing thing. But it's something that, and we were talking. Do you think that Meghan is doing this to troll Harry and keep him traumatized, or do you think he's full on board?
At this point, I believe Harry is fully on board. I can't tell anything else from it because he's going along with it. So you can only judge him by his actions. He hasn't disapproved. He hasn't said anything. So it's kind of like silence is consent. He's moved forward with it. That's all I can view from it.
Because he hasn't done anything today for his mom, not even a statement or anything, or a charity of anything, nothing.
But how can he? I mean, it's like to do it would be to overshadow what she wants to launch. And then he would have to confront her, which means he would have to confront himself, which means he would have to confront his decisions, which means he'd have to then put an end to this. And that's not what cowards do.
That is absolutely terrible. That is really terrible. That is something that is disgusting. That's your mom, dude, and a mom who loved you, and that you don't do that. What kind of a man? What kind of a little piece of? I'm sorry, but it's just I'm having a hard time with that. Like, how can you not stand up for your mother?
But I think that just shows how much in trouble he is really in. I think it really is revealing to, his current situation. It really is a dire situation.
But is it? I mean, is it dire from the fact that if it would be dire if he were somehow in the relationship against his will? Otherwise, it would be a fully cognitive choice. It also puts it, if you take a step back, his choices in another light. If he does not do anything on the anniversary of his mother, right? then that means every time that he brings up his mother, books, interviews, conferences, talks, then that means he's just using her memory for money and clout.
He's dining out on her, just like he accused John Travolta of doing.
Right.
And they do it today. They're dining out on her again today. Launching this today, it brought so much more publicity than it would if it was any other day because of this fact. So this is how they've really
But
elevated
this is,
it.
I don't understand, because they said this is a new company that did this method publicity. This is not a good look. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
People say there's no such thing as bad publicity. Yes, there is. Yes, there is, because if that was the case, Meghan Markle would have amazing brands after her.
I agree. But I think
apparently this method communications, one of their specialty is their spin doctors. They're supposed to be very good at crisis management and changing the narrative. So I don't know if they got markled or if this is something that they're going to spin.
But how can you spin this?
There's no way to spin it. That's I agree with Manuela, but it's also something we discussed. What was it, 2 weeks ago when I was last with you? When we were on the Saturday, not the royal mess. And I'm beginning to believe even more after today that I think the people that they're hiring are no longer trying to rebrand her image. I think they're just trying to take advantage of what image she has. They're like, okay, you want to do this today? You're going to get the maximum amount of publicity. You're going to get X amount of hate, but you're going to gain traffic. I think they're just looking at traffic, not caring about the damage, just looking at the volume.
Yeah, but she's getting volume, but she's not, but it doesn't transfer to sales because people feel grossed out buying it.
I agree, but that's not think about if you're trying to sell her, someone who, by what we know through the Vanity Fair pieces, Deadline, Forbes, Hollywood Reporter, everything collectively with all of our knowledge. She has a pattern, both he and her. They don't listen to the people they hire. Eventually the people quit or they get fired, right? So if you know that going into a business relationship like that and you're not honest, you're just there to get money. Like you're not there to serve your client's best needs by saying the truth. Look, you want to succeed in the long term, you got to stop all this crap, go radio silent for a year. We'll build you a strategy, come back out and rebrand. They know they're going to not get that contract if they tell somebody who wants yes people. So then how are they going to approach you? They're going to say, okay, this person is not going to listen to us. So we just got to do what they say and then crank up the volume. They want to make it cringe. We're going to make sure it gets out everywhere. She's not going to sell anything, but she's going to get what she wants, which is to buy headlines. That's really, I think, what Meghan wants. I don't care what she says about money. I think all she wants are headlines. I could be wrong.
I think that's what she wants. Absolutely. She wants to be very famous. She wants to just always be talked about, always hog up all the oxygen and try to become bigger than, I think she wants to be bigger than the royal family.
She does.
You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I agree, but the rate that she's going, it's like there's only, how many people or celebrities can we name? Because everybody goes through cycles, hot, cold, where they're in the press 24/7. Like, remember Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, 24 hours a day, 24 hours a day. Who walked out of that the cleanest? Depp.
Yeah.
Okay. Amber Heard was the thing up until the trial. You know, it was like she's been wronged. Look at this animal. Look at this monster. And it was 24 hours a day. But then what happened? Once truth starts to come out, it just happened to be in a trial there. This is taking a longer period of time because it has to trickle through the internet, go through the world. But in the end, it's going to be burnout, and we will never hear about her again. Except it'll be like, Meghan got married today to so-and-so. Harry is off in a rubber room somewhere applying lip balm to his frozen top. I think this will, in the end, die out because she's burning at too fast of a pace. Always. It's constant, and there's nothing positive.
Yeah, but then you have, I think, the divorce coming. You have, the things with the children and the custody. Like, that's going to be a mess. That's going to be so ugly. And not good for either of them because Harry doesn't want to stay in California.
But do you remember
George,
Will Smith? Sorry, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, George, did you see that story right before we all came on here today? I was watching Kinsey Schofield, and she was talking about lover or hater. Candace Owens was supposedly subpoenaed by Blake Lively and Ryan's team. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. No, I didn't see
Well,
that yet.
she's saying I have yet to see something, but Kinsey's point in her video, I don't know if she was live or what, but she was like, don't think for 1 second that Meghan and Harry aren't watching and taking copious notes to see how they can, basically intimidate content creators and the mommy slews like myself, like Manuela, like Paula, like Padina, people that are out there. And it's not like we're getting some type of privileged information. Even Candace was laughing in her video saying, what are you talking about? I'm just reading and hearing what you all put out. You guys filed it and we're talking about it.
Right.
They're basically trying to insinuate that Candace, among other content creators, are in some type of smear campaign. How can you be privy to a smear campaign but before the fact? Like, they're just commenting after.
Right.
And it's just like they don't like just to your point, they don't want truth. They don't want truth out there. We are entitled to our opinion. We're entitled to not reveal our sources. We're entitled to just come out and say this is 100% our opinion, but this is what we believe to be true.
Right. I agree with you 100%. I think it's all going to backfire, especially the Blake Lively stuff. Again, look how quickly, once the truth started to surface, how quickly their entire reputation, Lively's and Reynolds, was upended overnight and destroyed. That's the power of truth.
Fast.
You cannot destroy. Lies only work for so long, and it can be a painful ride. I've been there in my personal life, but you hold on, because once the truth gets out there, it is unstoppable. That's why, like I was saying earlier, I'm working on the video for the UK. I love my cousins across pond. And now that people are day by day waking up and the truth is getting out there, it's unstoppable. You can only fool people for so long, abuse people for so long, lie for so long, suck up the oxygen for so long, because even in the end, the media goes, okay, it's boring. Yeah. Nobody is clicking. Yeah. It's like I look at, what's the newspaper, and it's called The Express UK. Running stories. Express.co.uk. They're running stories from like 7 years ago. Did you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anything new? And there's like 3 articles about it. Did you know that she actually put her left leg over her right leg when she was visiting?
Yeah. And I saw the most recent, the story that was about what she did at the Wimbledon. Like, that story was recirculated and talked about,
how she cleared it out. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's not.
But the only reason is because people are getting angry at the media for not. They're even saying, why are we having to turn on Jennifer with her little small audience and her little camera in her guest bedroom and hear more realness than from these fools?
Right. Exactly.
And people like us. People, I mean, we don't profess to have all the answers, nor do we profess to be 100% correct in every single instance. We have eyes, we have ears, we have hearts, we have souls. We see something that's right or not right, and we're going to speak about it. And that's what people like. And that's why they don't like these people. I mean, that's why she got that negative attention when she was promoting that movie. You remember that viral interview where she was with Flossom Talk?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
That. You know what, Meghan?
She's no. I'm sorry. No, we're talking about Blake. So
okay. So
that's when she started to get a lot of that negative pushback. Was when that interview from I don't know how many some odd years ago resurfaced, where she was basically being berated and humiliated in the middle of an interview by Blake. And it was very unsettling to watch. And she even talks about, I myself suffered a miscarriage, and Blake saying, "Oh, congratulations on your bump," and it's just like it's so evil. And for someone to say, "I'm a feminist and I'm such a supporter of women," to go ahead and just demean and talk down to somebody the way that she did. So that is what caught fire, and that's what people were looking at, saying, "What are we watching? What level of holy narcissism is this?" But she has such pride and such ego. She has to attribute everything to a smear campaign, not her own behavior, mind you, which we can plainly see, but a smear campaign, mind her. It's like, come on, lady.
Right.
See, to me, that's so dangerous for them because they've written lies. Harry, for example, all you'd have to do, any one of us can go to any doctor, your own doctor, any other. We could pick apart Spare, for example. We could hone in on just the miscarriage that they took it out of the hospital and buried it under a palm tree. Pick up a phone, get a doctor, put him on camera, get 50. Is this allowed in the United States of America? No. Let me show you where it goes. Let me show you the forms. Can anybody take it out? No. No. You could pick one thing apart at a time. We could call up the Ministry of Defense and set up an interview for them in the United Kingdom and say, Harry said that he was during one of his training missions in the military when he was back home, that I forgot the county he was in, where the king was having a retreat. But as his father was driving away in his Audi, he had commanded the tornado jet, I think it was, to do a flyby across the king as a funny joke to scare the hell out of him because he always fantasized about killing him, and it cracked his windshield. You mean you tried to assassinate the king and you're writing about it? Like, as a joke? Like, they have lied so much, there's no leg for them to stand on. They have to have a basis. They've defamed their own selves. It's like, really? Come on. And then what would their response be? Well, it's a memoir. It's not really true. Oh. So this isn't true. So then everything else you said isn't true, right? Because you said this was the truth. That's why when you depend on lies, it's that classic old saying, well, probably all learned as kids, when you practice to deceive. It's like, it's just, there's no way out of this for them except for silence. To me, the only way for them to save themselves is to go away. For what? A long time.
Kill them.
Away. Just go away.
Yeah. They wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Padina, I'm texting with Paula right now. She says she's not on, but because I'm in hers on her back end, and she's saying that there's some things that maybe George has that she wants me to share. So I think, do you have something?
Bottom, I'm looking here
where it says. Okay. Well, I'm back in, but I'm under Paula's login, so I can click add to stage. And do you have something, George, you want to show? Okay.
Yeah, it was the eBay. See, you can see here. So sold out in an hour. We have one, right, at $91. Typically, if we scroll down here, right, we can scroll down here. 34, 35, 35. So no, that's different. Sorry. 55. Okay. 72, 74. So her peak so far is $99 for a product. Right? This is selling out in an hour. Yeah. These things would not only exist, they would be at 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. And the faster they would sell on eBay,
the higher the number.
The markup. No, because people would be like, oh, wait a minute. I put this up for $300 and it sold in 10 seconds. Hell.
Yeah.
They'd put the next product up and they'd go 1,000 because people pay crazy prices for stuff that you would never believe. The popcorn buckets last year when I was reviewing a film, I never bought these popcorn. I bought one. I bought it. My niece wanted one, so I gave it to her, and I had an extra one. And a friend of mine said, "Did you see that popcorn bucket you had sold for $400?" I said, "Get out of here! It's like a $35 thing." Like, no way, no kidding. Yeah, I did it as a joke because I didn't believe it. I put up there 500. It sold in an hour.
Wow. See, that's the thing. When there's scarcity of product, people pay a lot of money for it. So that's how you know it is a blatant lie that she is selling out these products. And we know Meghan is known to lie. She's not afraid to lie. She's not even embarrassed to lie. She has lied before the courts What makes you think she's not going to lie to people who are buying her product? She's going to lie.
But see, here's the proof, P. Diana. Right here's the proof. Because if she was sold out in an hour, that means she would have a list of people waiting. Or the first place they're going to go to look is eBay, Facebook, anywhere online.
That is a really good point. I have to bring this out in a video.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm working on, because I was like thinking about it. I was like, because I kept trying to figure out, how do you prove that this is a con?
Yeah.
Let me go to eBay. Well, there you go. It's a con.
Yep. That is that is the gold standard for, I mean, eBay's been around for a long time, since the early 2000s, right?
Yep.
So that's what you do. That's how you prove it. And I think someone else also had, didn't they have like the metadata for like some of the products, where she was getting some of the products from?
Republic of Tea, right?
Yeah. And then they changed it, so.
And then I've had some people comment on my last video saying that I've had one or two, she's sourcing from the people that do Yellowtail, but I thought Yellowtail was Australian, so I don't know how accurate that one is.
Yeah.
For the wine, but
okay.
Yeah.
I want to see if any have actually sold. Where is that link?
And are they multiple vendors there, or is it the same vendor, just a few vendors?
This is that's a good question. Let's see.
It would be funny if this was their secondary market and she's actually set up these little accounts herself to add a little extra. Well, because she had to buy all her own books. Maybe she had to buy all her own stock too.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Okay, that first one is from Maine. The second one, it's not clicking over. Okay, the second one is from Vallejo, California. The third one is from Penning. No, these are all individual.
All individual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes that theory. There goes that theory.
Well, no, but it actually shows you, again, these are probably people who went up there, purchased, and like, hey, she said she was sold out. I'm going to make a killing. Let me buy 4 or 5 of these, and then because that's what people do for a living. I mean, they just live on
high stuff. Yeah.
How beige and boring is that whole page? How beige and boring.
Yes, it's very beige and boring. Oh my goodness. So
well, that's so her. She's pretty beige and boring. I mean, she doesn't really have, I mean, when you think of a color, she's beige.
Yes. Yep. That is a good point too. So it's just all contradictions. It's all just fluff and wanting to create problems so she can be a victim, and not really trying to do the good, not really trying to be authentic and forthcoming. It's all conniving and planning and just not really being a good person to make effective change that is for the betterment and empowerment of people. I mean, you just look where she goes. She is like the Tasmanian devil. She's caused destruction within her own family, the staff, the people that work for her, her husband's family, her friendships. Nothing is valued as, her sacrificing to overcome whatever offensive thing someone may have done to her. She wants to get rid of it, destroy it, throw it, make it just blow it up. But nothing really holds value to really cultivate it into just, sustaining it for the betterment of, I don't know, her being a good person. I mean, we all go through ups and downs and have people that we fall out with, but we don't destroy these things. We try to grow from our mistakes, or educate people about things that you may not like, and just try to make things better. But she just wants to come in and completely destroy it and create havoc everywhere. And that is not a good person. That is not somebody who wants to do the right thing. I think it's a very selfish person that's always thinking about themselves and forget you and, what you want to do. You've offended me, so be gone with you, and I just think Meghan doesn't have good qualities about her that's going to help her to get that likability that people will attach themselves to. You can't attach yourself to somebody who is this destructive. I think she is just not doing a good thing. I don't care what PR agency you're going to bring in to do the work. You're never going to get over what you've already done in the past unless you learn from your past mistakes and try to be better. It's very simple. You can't just hire a new PR team to try to have them try to make it work. It's never going to work. I don't care who you bring in, you know? So I think that's just something that she has to come to an awakening about, but I just don't see it ever happening.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't,
she's
because
that person. She's that person that walks along the beach, sees someone building a sandcastle, and kicks it over.
That's exactly right. You're in my pathway, you know. She kicks
claims credit for it by pulling out a camera and like editing out the person.
Oh yes, before she kicks it over.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, today's July 1st, right? And we're here celebrating the beautiful Princess Diana. Do you remember a few months ago when Meghan went on the Drew Barrymore talk show?
Yeah.
And do you remember? I know George is like, please, I need a drink. No, but do you remember when Drew? You know how Drew kind of like gets all up in the face and she was like, I have a picture and I met Diana and it was so. I mean, love her or hate her, she's at least she's Drew. And she was like basically saying she had this story. She had this encounter with Diana. It was such a wonderful thing. She has a picture of it. It's great. And did you notice, Meghan, how just almost annoyed looking and unaffected she was? And she was like, do you have anything to say? And she's just like, I wish I could have met her. And then that was it. No talk about. I personally think that she is jealous of her and she's jealous of her legacy. That's my opinion. Yeah. I watched that and I was like, that is not someone who is like, that was my husband's mother and she's so wonderful and what a gift. What a gift. She didn't say a damn word. It was just, I wish I could have met her. It's like, that's what a stranger would say. You're married his son and that's all you have to say. I was just like, make this make sense.
Right.
I don't know. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of that moment? Remember that?
Yeah.
The burning jealousy. It was just
you can see the smoke out of her ears like, It's like, she was pissed. She was like, how dare you talk about Diana when I'm on your stage in my, palazzo pants or whatever. I was like, please.
I think the fact is that Princess Diana is her bane. If you think about it, she had to play her doppelganger in order to hook Harry as part of getting to his hatred. But it's still, she lives in her shadow. So it's kind of like she's got to walk that tightrope because she can't do anything against her because that might be the one thing to maybe get Harry to fight back. Still, it's like when I don't know. To me, he's so pathetic. Because he's not a kid.
Pathetic isn't the word.
I know it's like people sometimes they're like they feel sad for him. Like he's not 20 years old. I mean, this is supposed to be a grown man, supposedly a father. You're not talking
zero life skills.
Zero life. But then you look at the opposite with Prince William and Princess Catherine.
Yeah,
just night and day.
I think everything that Diana was the best of Diana, William got from his mom.
100% agree.
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I can't say that on stream, but okay.
Well, I guess we've been here almost 2 hours now. Wow. So I just want to, I don't know, I guess Paula's not coming back, right?
Let me see if she said something. Hold on.
Okay.
She's just asking me if I know how to end the live. I just hit end stream.
Yeah, okay. So I guess once again, I just want to thank everyone for their super stickers and their super chats. Oh, and Paula just said, can't donate. Well, let me just put it here. I don't know. I can't seem to share anything, but maybe you can. Let me see. Yeah, I can't share it on the screen. Can't donate from the country, but I can buy a super chat. Donate to Pidanda's charity. Thank you, guys. Okay, thank you, Paula, for having this fundraiser today in memory of the late Princess Diana. We are just wanting to remember her and all of her legacy and everything that she was about. She definitely made a huge impact on me and a lot of people. She was just a great woman. So if you want to donate to the charity, my charity, the link is below here. I guess, are you all doing or working on any videos for later today or tomorrow? Did you want to mention?
Just my UK video. I'm finishing that up.
Yeah.
When is it going to be done, George?
Should be done by tomorrow, so it should be out Thursday or Sunday, but hopefully Thursday.
Now, do you say UK because it's focusing on
It's focusing on it's focusing on the United Kingdom, but kind of like it looks at Harry and Meghan as an example of the rotten Western society and compares it to what's going on in the UK.
What's going on in the UK.
And how the king and the parliament are doing, and just some of the crazy laws. Like, do you know that they're working on introducing banter bouncers in the United Kingdom? Where
What's that?
When
What
you're
is
you have 50 pubs a month shut down in the UK. And they were the beating heart of England. Pubs, you get the community together.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
50 pubs a month shut down, different laws, no smoking ban, all this stuff. Now they're looking at pushing a law called for banter bounces, which is basically if you're a two-spirited Wiccan who identifies as Sherwood Forge, you might get offended by a joke that someone says in a pub if you're working at the pub. So it's to have people who stop people from saying things in a pub that offend other people.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
Yeah. They've been working on it for a while, and they're trying to, it hasn't gotten a lot of traction, but they're still working on it. It's just the same way that Shakespeare's place of birth, Stratford upon Avon, you have the museum there is working, what they said, to decolonize William Shakespeare, because to hold him up as a genius of all time as a writer is to embrace white supremacy. Wow. So it's a lot of insanity. Yeah.
Wow.
People are very bored, aren't they?
I can't.
Yes,
wow,
nothing better to do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your work. Do you two ladies have anything coming out?
I have a menopause thing coming out. No, go ahead.
I was going to say I'm still trying to work through that damn Aspire podcast. I'm a little behind because we're in the process of a overseas move, but it's a lot of stuff.
Okay,
go ahead, Manuela.
Well, I was just thinking Diana would have been 64, right? So she would have been post-menopause, and I think she would have been perfectly situated for what's happening right now in the world, where especially 6,000 women a day go into menopause in North America, so it's 2 million a year. So she would have been perfectly situated. I think she would have been very progressive. I think she would have been strong and healthy and been a really good leader in that transition. So she could have been I just imagine that she would have been a great force there. So we're just trying to do a little bit of that work with what we do.
Yes, and the products that you have sent me, they are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Is there a link for your products? I know Paula has it on her channel for 20% off. But we're going to be doing videos on this, I know, later, but you're going to all get the information about these products. But I'm telling you, they are amazing. The quality is superb. I mean, I've never had such good quality in my skincare. Really, it is really a good line.
Well, this is what I think. I mean, I really appreciate that. And as a manufacturer, obviously, I love that because you want to be able to make quality product and people be happy for the long term. We've been doing this for a very long time. But I also believe in the truth and in the truth in science. And this is how we formulate. We don't try to create marketing trends or whatnot. It's just basic, simple mathematics and biochemistry. And just as things are intended, and there's so many hints out there in the world how we can actually just make things a little bit better just by following the clues that are mathematically there and just linking them together. So we hope to share more of that so that people can because I know people don't always have access to things locally because we are from different parts of the world. But if you get a little bit of that information, you could do it locally for yourself with that education and be able to do things for yourself. And I think that's part of our contribution, is trying to empower people that way so they make better choices, healthier choices for themselves.
Absolutely. And then also, Jennifer, we're going to be doing like the makeup and stuff. There's something else that Paula told me to mention about other.
Yeah, she wants us to get together and talk about makeup and different products that offer a natural yet polished look. And we can even talk about Princess Diana's makeup and fun stuff like that. Catherine's makeup, that'll be fun.
Diana's blue eyeliner when she used to come out in her blue eyeliner.
That was in her earlier phase, and then she got a little bit more sophisticated with her taupes and her browns, and she never did things like false eyelashes or anything like that. And her skin was impeccable. I mean, she was the quintessential English rose,
Yes.
And that flush that she had, a lot of that was natural. That wasn't blush. So
yeah. Oh, I can't wait. We're gonna be talking about all this good stuff for women over a certain age. Whoop whoop.
Yes.
I want to see Paula drunk in a pub.
Yes, that would be fun.
That's fun.
Yes.
Oh, look, here she goes again. Otis is cheating on Siri, she said.
Oh my goodness. Girl, leave my son alone, okay? Okay, so thank you everybody so much for all your donations. I know some of you have sent donations. Thank you so much. And for the super chats and for being here and supporting all of our channels. I'll be putting out a video tomorrow. Stay tuned. There's so much more to come. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. And Paula M's channel as well.
Great chatting with you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.